All right. Well, we're live. So, thought I'd just sit here and paint some Rangers and talk about the new Scorpions that we got today. So, it's finally confirmed we're getting Scorpions, which is awesome. This was something that was basically kind of revealed a while ago, to be honest. There were some hints and stuff that GW dropped a long time ago. So a lot of players knew we were going to get the Scorpions, but it's good to finally see them because GW has, in fact, dropped the ball on many occasions with that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool to finally get them. So I'm really glad for that. Thank goodness, honestly, because we needed some new aspect warriors. Although I think probably in more dire need of some warp spiders or something like that versus the Scorpions, but hey, whatever. As Eldar players, we'll kind of take what we can get. When Space Marines are getting, 50 new Primaris captains within the span of a couple months, we'll take some new aspect warriors that were, sculpted in 2006. So, anyway. Well, it's good to see some of you in here. Yeah, they do hate aspect warriors, man. They absolutely hate them. It's what's funny though? They're really not hard to balance, but GW seems to have trouble doing it. And yeah, that's that's basically why we don't get balanced rules sometimes. So, but I have to say though, most of the aspect warriors this time around in 10th edition were absolutely balanced on release. A lot of people will say that they weren't, but I think there was other issues, and I think for the most part the aspect warriors are balanced. It's just a few of them that were a little too cheap. That's about it. So that kind of makes sense. So what do you guys think about the new Striking Scorpions? You digging them? You liking the sculpts? I kind of think they mostly look the same. And they look a little bit more slender, which is cool. They look a lot, you know what they look a lot more like? They look a lot more like Eldar aspect warriors should look. Very slender, very, kind of lithe. The old Striking Scorpions looked a little bit buff. Yeah, Anthony, that's true. And that's always going to be the case with top-level competitive players. They're always going to spam the best. They're always going to spam the best, man. It's like in any game, like I used to play War Machine too a lot. And in that game, it was the same thing. Like when something was OP, it was just spammed, and everyone basically played the same thing. Like for that army, they played the same builds. Which is totally fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a competitive player and that's how you enjoy playing, like for sure, you're gonna like want to play the best, and there's no shame in that, as long as you're a cool dude. If you're a jerk, then that's a different. But if you're a cool guy and you're just like playing competitive, that's fine. I totally think that's cool. I have nothing against competitive players who want to just run meta stuff. That's fine. I mean, I know it kind of like messes everybody else up, the casual players, when like something's spammed a lot, but that's always going to happen in any game. I think we just better get used to it, It's like anything. It's like even in video games, man. Like I don't know if you guys played Elden Ring when it came out or whatever, but I've always been big into the Souls games. I've always really liked them. But even in those games, you have these players that, kind of play like the PvP and stuff. And they're like breaking the weapons, they're like making the weapon super OP, and then the weapon gets nerfed. And then people are like, oh my God, like, this weapon I had through my whole run, my PvE run, is now like awful, and I'm having trouble versus the bosses. Well, Say thank you to that, like, PvP player, you know, all those PvP players that were just spamming it, you know. But that's always going to happen in any game, no matter what. You can't really get away from it, especially in this day and age. That's kind of just where we're at, you know, with video games. Like, everybody wants to be competitive with video games. The competitive video game industry is big, you know. And by the way, it's the same way with Warhammer. Like, ideally, I think GW wants to make Warhammer kind of competitive so that they can monetize the content. You know, tournaments and stuff like that. I'm sure once, you know, things get like streamlined enough, they want to move into that realm, you know, with the help of the pro gamers and stuff like that, right? I mean, you already have, like, quote unquote semi-professional Warhammer teams that are already there, you know. You have Warhammer teams and stuff like that, so there's that. So I'm sure GW is trying to get on that money train, because it is in fact a money train. But anyway, the cool thing is the Striking Scorpions are kind of like in a very unique spot. You think they went boring, James, with the poses? Yeah, I think the poses probably could have been more dynamic. They look very much like the old ones, but they're more slender, I think, which is cool. Really what it is, guys, is like, I love the old Scorpion look. I was never opposed to it. I always thought it was really cool. Yeah, I think, Peter, that you're going to get access. I think what they said is you're going to have access to 3 different options for the Exarch. You're going to get the Chain Sabers, the Biting Blade, and the Scorpion's Claw. I think that's what they said, if I'm not mistaken. And by the way, guys, for those of you guys who don't know what Chain Sabers are, they're an old weapon the Exarch used to have. They're bringing it back. Yeah, honestly, my thing is I liked the design of the Striking Scorpions before, so I don't mind, like, not having much change. That's fine with me. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get a box or try to pick one up. I mean, if it's not sold out. I'm not really in the business of, like, hanging out, like, on the website, like, as soon as it comes out, you know? Like, I'm not one of those guys, so I'm hoping it's still there. Yeah, I mean, if Valeric has a rumor on that, maybe it's true. You know, that guy is, like, a little bit of a precognizant. Yeah, I don't know, Jean. I don't know. I hope so. That'd be cool. Did I put too much paint on that? No. You know what I like about Army Painter paints is usually even if you put too much paint on, you can kind of just spread it out. It's not a big deal. They're really easy to paint with. I'm hoping the new line of Army Painter paints is good. Because, like, I've been enjoying Army Painter for a while. Like, I know it's not the top of the line, but, like, for the cost, it's been pretty good. For me, at least. I know it's not for everybody, but... Yeah, you got to buy the kill team first, Daniel. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I wish they would just come out with the box, but they wanna milk all the money they can out of people. I'm probably gonna have to go split with somebody in my gaming group because I know somebody wants those scouts. So I'm just gonna say, hey man, you want to split? You give me the scorpions and you can get the scouts. You know? Yeah, because there's no way. I mean, like I'm never gonna probably start a Marine army. I don't like Space Marines. They're just not my bag. You know? They're just not my bag at all. Thanks, James. Thank you, man. I honestly, the scheme is okay. I like it. It's unique, but it's hard. It takes a lot of time. I wish I had actually I wish I had done some like, you know, something quicker, you know, because this is taking way too long to paint all these guys. And like my schedule's already like not the freest, so I'm hoping I can get these guys done, and I'm hoping I don't have to like spend all this time on them, because the goal is to get these guys up tournament standard so I can like actually, you know, have a well-painted army in a tournament for once, instead of like something that's like cobbled together and just barely like barely enough for 10 points for the paint job, you know. Well, I'm excited for the Striking Scorpions because I think this means that GW is going to take Eldar maybe a little bit more seriously in the coming years. Yeah, Rangers are fiddly. Yeah, and you can just sell the scouts too. That's the thing. And you know what? The kill team's actually fun. I mean, kill team's actually a fun game mode. So if you did, like, if you weren't going to use the 10 scorpions, because let's be honest, like, most players are not going to use 10 scorpions in their list. Playing the kill team is super fun too. Like if you wanted to keep the extra 5 scorpions just for that, like that's always a fun thing. So it's definitely worth it buying it. I just don't know if it's going to be sold out, you know. That's the thing. Usually these things sell out quick nowadays. Guaranteed GW won't make enough. You'll have scalpers and stuff like that. Thank you, James. I wish I was a better painter. Actually, you know, I'm okay at painting, you know. It's just it takes a long time. It takes a long time. I'm used to just painting things really just tabletop quality. Just, you know, it looks good from afar, but when you go up close, you can tell there's like details that are like maybe scuffed or something like that. Like, I'm not the best painter. But that's okay. We're all good at different things. Your second army is Raven Guard? Yeah, I've just never been a big Marine fan, man. You know, the funny thing is I played Marines for like 2 months. I played Dark Angels, and I hated the experience. Absolutely hated the experience, unfortunately. Yeah, Cahandras. I hope we get them too, man. I hope we get Cahandras soon. I hope we get all the Phoenix Lords soon. I mean, they're so old, dude. They're such old models. That's like... That's one of the biggest things about, like, Eldar. Like, a lot of people, like, really think Eldar are cool, but they're like, man, I just can't get, like, behind those, like, really old models. And it's like, well, you don't really play them for that, but, yeah. I mean, I get it, you know? Like, if I was a new player getting into the game and I was, like, picking my army and I found out that they never updated the Eldar, I'd be a little concerned, you know? Yeah, the old Janzar looked OP. Looked really freaking insane. Best Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines, yeah. I'd probably agree with that. Although I don't like Chaos Space Marines either, truthfully. I just don't like the aesthetic. Yeah, the material, Sakaway, is really where the old models start to, like, you know, falter. Most of them are, if you can get a metal cast of the old ones, it's okay usually. But the freaking fine cast is just a mess to work with. And yeah, fine cast is insane. Yeah. Yeah, models back then were crazy though. Like the Phoenix Lords and stuff. I mean, like they made them really over the top, like for the day. Like they were really over the top models. It was really cool. The Phoenix Lords back then were like really cool. They still are though. I have Fuegan chilling right here. I need to paint this guy up. I found this guy on eBay for 30 bucks, dude. Can you believe that? Full Fuegan, new in box, 30 bucks. You know what, toys? I used to have that model, but someone stole it. Yeah, someone stole it at a tournament. I was playing in a tournament and someone jacked it off the table. Yeah, yep, they got him. They got my freaking kneeling ranger. Never look away from your table at a tournament. Freaking some Dark Eldar shit right there. It's probably a Dark Eldar player that stole it. Yeah, that was a long time ago though. I used to have it, but then, I mean, it was one of my better painted models too. It was a shame. It was when I was a kid. Nice, James. I know, imagine someone stealing one miniature. But whoever stole it knew what they had because yeah, that was a rare model even back then. It was metal too. I got the old metal one. It was cool. I was so proud of that model too. Look at you guys bringing me back. Bringing me back to some sad times. Yeah. Fun tournament though. I had a lot of fun at that tournament. That was way back in the day. That was back in like 4th edition. That was fun. That was a fun day. That was before I was any good at the game. I was terrible at the game back then. I was having fun though. It's good to have you guys in here. Thanks for joining me today. Just chilling, talking about the new Scorpions. I'm hoping we get some new Warp Spiders, some Swooping Hawks. That would be cool. Swooping Hawks are freaking in tournaments now. Can you believe that? People are running them in tournaments. I pretty much knew they were good. I always thought they were solid from the beginning of the edition. Just people really didn't want to give them the light of day back then. Like, oh, they don't really do a lot of damage. Well, yeah, but they score you a bunch of points on secondaries. They're really quite excellent. They're an absolute steal. They're fantastic, man. I love Swooping Hawks. I seriously hope they're the next set. Like, They have really old models, or warp spiders, man. Give me some warp spiders, or give me some swooping hawks, man. Me and my buddies used to call them swooping cocks because they were so they were so cheesy, man. They were so broken back in the day. They were so good. We were just like, yep, swooping cocks. Great unit. I've always liked them. They've always been one of my favorite units. And in 9th edition, they were just absolutely brutal. We need warp spiders in plastic, and they can do so much with warp spiders. They have so much potential, you know? They would look so cool, man. Really. I'd be really excited to see that. And I hope we don't have to wait till the next codex. Yeah, Anthony, Aspect Warriors are exactly what got me into the Eldar. My original plan when I was a kid was I was going to run one of each squad of Aspects. Yeah, the Artel ones look really good. Like, there's some good, like, Proxy models out there. See, this is really where I struggle painting because I always have to go over some spots afterward. And it always is a chore to like get like the crevices. That's really where I struggle the most, the crevices of the model. Like, as you can tell, I'm like really struggling trying to find the spots. Oh, that'd be cool, man. That is cool. Artel is cool. Artel makes some really cool models. Like, I have nothing bad to say about that company. They're really cool. Yeah, Garen, I totally understand about that. You know, coming from somebody who uses cardboard to proxy models, it really depends on who you're playing against. Because some people, if you play a pickup game, I've had people just straight up refuse to play against me for that. So Greenskin, you're saying to highlight these guys with pure yellow on the cloaks? Because I haven't tried that. I've been highlighting with light green, but if you're telling me yellow, I'll go with that. Cold yellow. I'm not sure what that is. Is it a GW color? Or is it a painting term? Like, I'm really stupid when it comes to that. Oh, like Bad Moon yellow. Okay. So like really bright yellow. Yeah, I might do that. That's a good tip. I might do that with these guys. Because I want these guys to really stand out. So that people shoot them faster. Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm not the best painter, so I totally appreciate the advice. Because I am not the greatest of painters. I mean, I've been painting for over 20 years, so I know how to paint and stuff because I have like so much experience, but like I don't know every technique, you know? Interesting. Magenta too, interesting. Oh, green's my favorite color. Green's my favorite color of all time. That's why I picked the Beal Tan as my first Craftworld. I love green. I was debating whether or not to paint these guys green. I wanted to paint them either red or green, and I decided to go with green. That's my favorite color for the cloth and everything like that. Absolute favorite color. I think that's good. I don't know. What do you guys think of it so far? Okay? Does it pass? Does it pass the tabletop quality test? Thank you, Greenskin. I appreciate the vote of confidence. God, there's a bunch of dogs outside. I don't know what they're doing. God, sorry about that. I mean, I like dogs, but Jesus. You're talking about tournament paint, James? Yeah, it's 3 colors. I'm gonna add another color on here. It's gonna be blue for the gems and stuff, and gold highlighting on the like rifle and stuff. I'm not quite done yet. Fuck, I couldn't bring this. Actually, technically, this is almost good enough for tournament. I would just need to base it. If I was in a real hurry, I would just put the basing on right now and finish the feet, and then just say I'm done. There you go. Tournament ready. Oh God, it would be so annoying though. It would actually feel bad. Feel really bad to like put that on the table, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Yeah, James, it's hard to decide paint schemes. And white is not fun to paint. You guys are wrong. I know you're being sarcastic, but this is coming from somebody who played Beal Tan for a long time, man. White is not fun to paint. You know what, though? Oh, fuck, dude. The green is just... My thoughts on this new Scorpions is they're pretty cool. They look a lot more slender than the other ones, which looks a lot more Eldar. But other than that, they don't look too much different. Like, you know, I mean, I'm glad they're in plastic. Don't get me wrong, but they're not like anything out of this world, you know? Yeah, Banshees are a little bit tough to paint. I've actually, like stepped away from painting Banshees, their traditional shrine colors, and gone to other stuff because of that freaking bone color is so hard to paint. Yeah, like my thing about the like new like stuff, like if you want to get the new stuff, like don't like get me wrong, I love the fact that the Scorpions are in plastic now. But if you're an old player like me and you already have your striking Scorpions and stuff, like you're good, you know? Like, you don't need to go out and buy the other ones, because these ones, I mean, the old striking Scorpions look so great. They really aged super well. Like, no kidding. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I mean, the old striking Scorpions, the only problem with them is that they look a little bit, like, thick. You know, they're like thick boys. They look a little bit more thick than Eldar should be. And there's actually a reason why GW went with that aesthetic for Striking Scorpions. In 4th edition, they were one of the few Aspect Warrior units that had a 3+ armor save. So their thickness was supposed to represent the fact that they were in heavier armor. Oh, Fire Dragons. Yeah, Fire Dragons are pretty cool too. God, I don't know what all these kids are doing outside too. Someone's having a party or something. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I wish we could have seen the other weapon options, but they said it was going to be chain sabers and the biting blade. So it's going to have 3 weapon options. And the chain sabers are going to be like probably a twin-linked weapon of some kind, like a twin-linked something, would be my guess. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, there's never been chain sabers in a kit before, which is really cool. I'm really excited to see that, man, because that means that, you know, way back in the day when you had to like kit bash chain sabers, I don't know if you guys remember that, but there used to be, you had to like basically get a couple different kits to be able to do it. And now you don't have to. You can just kind of build it from the kit, which is cool. And it's going to be a new weapon option, so that's awesome. So hopefully we'll be able to see that in-game, like the chain sabers. Like, hopefully it won't just be Kill Team exclusive, you know? That'd be awesome. What was that, Toys? I didn't catch that last one. That last question. It disappeared for some reason. Oh, you would do that, Toys? That would be cool. Well, you know what, Toys, hit me up. Email me, and we can talk about it. And by the way, I'm definitely open to like showcasing your guys' work on the channel. Like, if you guys want to like send me pictures and stuff of your models that you painted, like I'm thinking of doing a video and showcasing later on. So if you guys want to hit me up with an email and say, hey, here's my best work, you know, I'll do a community showcase. Yeah, the Scorpions are not very dynamic. My email's on my channel page. It's proxy.hammer1@gmail.com. proxy.hammer1@gmail.com. It's right there on my YouTube page. Thanks, Toys. Look forward to hearing from you. An OG supporter of the channel right there, Toys. Have a good one, James. Absolutely, man. They're not Bealtan Rangers, although my first Craftworld was Bealtan. And I love the Bealtan. They're my favorite named Craftworld. I just think they're the freaking coolest. I think they have the coolest lore. I think they're the most badass. And I really like their, like I really, you know what's crazy? I really got wrapped into the lore of 40K with the Eldar. I never cared about it before. Like I would play Imperial Guard. My first army ever was Imperial Guard. And I just thought the lore was boring for the Imperial Guard. Yeah, they're just a bunch of guys. They're like, you know, the military or whatever, and they just fight aliens. I'm like, I've seen that in movies. And then, oh, they tried to kill you in Dawn of War 2. Yeah, dude. Is that why you hate them? Well, there was a reason for it, man. They want to cleanse the Mon Kai, dude. They don't give a fuck. Yeah, man. I love their lore. I think their lore is freaking cool. I think, like the fact that they're so hateful towards the lesser races of the galaxy for stealing what's theirs. I know, man, that was some bullshit. I agree. It was bullshit in Dawn of War 2, but you know what though? Eldar sometimes don't see eye to eye, dude. That's the truth. They don't see eye to eye on everything. They have their different interpretations of the fates, you know? And the Biel-Tan are very militant, so they don't take kindly to Eldar who like to work with the enemy. But typically Eldar don't fight each other, you know? I think the farthest the Eldar would realistically go is they just wouldn't help each other, you know? They wouldn't help each other's causes necessarily. But I don't think they'd go out of their way to kill each other typically. So that was a little bit off in the video game. That was a little bit off. But, I mean, the Biel-Tan are a cool Craftworld. I love their lore. If anyone wants to see, like, a really cool lore passage, the 3rd edition codex for the Biel-Tan, the description of the Biel-Tan is absolutely amazing. It's what got me into the faction, the Biel-Tan faction. They were actually the first army I wanted to play, but my friends talked me out of it when I was a kid. When I was like 8 years old, my friends were like, don't play the Eldar. Don't play them. They're lame, dude. They're sissies. Play the Imperial Guard. Play the Catachans with the muscles and the Rambo stuff. And I was like, okay. Of course, I really wanted to play Eldar the whole time. Because they're really cool and they're really fun. I've never been bored playing Eldar, ever. Even when they were super OP in like the beginning of 6th edition, if anyone remembers that. Like when they got their new 6th edition codex, they were freaking insane, dude. It took a while, but when they did get it, it was brutal. Absolutely brutal codex. Anyone remember those times? Probably not. I'm probably the only old timer who did that. Yeah. You know what, though? I mean, you could always paint your Biel-Tan slightly different, you know? There's nothing stopping anybody from painting their Biel-Tan, like, black and green. Like, I think black and green is super cool. Like, if you wanted the kind of Uthway-style black look, but you wanted to still play Biel-Tan, you could always go black and green, and they look pretty cool. You remember Sirius, the 3rd edition codex? Hell yeah, dude. The winter may have fallen on the Eldar, but the spring will return soon. And there's just like waves of aspect warriors just slaughtering Imperial Guardsmen. They're just like, it's like no mercy, you know? Yeah, I love them. And the old style helmets, you know what? Here's the thing. I used to really like the old Striking Scorpions. The look was so freaking dark. Yeah, like Eldar could easily outshoot the Tau. I remember I played a game against a Tau player once, and in 6th edition, and he was preparing for a tournament, and he was running a pretty competitive list, and I remember I got the first turn, he failed to seize the initiative, and I just blew him off the table. It was a 2-turn victory. I tabled him by turn 3. And he was like, it would have been different if I got first turn. And I was like, yeah, it would have, but the fact that I could do the same level of firepower is insane. Cool toys, thank you, man. I'll email you as soon as I get the chance. I don't know when I'm gonna have to end stream, but I mean, you guys will know. I'll get a call and then I'll have to leave. I'm expecting a call at some point. But it's good to have you guys in here for now. It's cool to do this. I hope I can do more of these in the future. We can just talk and chill, and if you guys have questions for me, I can answer them and stuff. Absolutely. By the way, if any of you guys want to participate in our channel campaign, I have a video up on my YouTube about it. You can go check that out, sign up for it, and start submitting games. We need some more participants, man. Let's just put it that way. We need some more participants because we're only getting like a couple submissions a week. So I'd like the campaign to be a success, but yeah, anyway, if you're interested. If not, no big deal. Do I have everything on this guy? No, I missed the spot. I always miss a spot. Look at that. Look at that. I missed his boot. Yeah, that would be cool, dude. I think the Chain Sabers toys will be cool. Yeah, the 5th edition Serpent Spam, I remember that. I played the Serpent Spam, man. I was the ultimate Serpent Spam guy. I was super, in 5th edition, I was a really hardcore meta player, you know. Very competitive tournament player that only played the meta. I was also a teenager, so... You know, teenagers and, well, they're not the most mentally mature. Let's just put it that way. I have played Serpent Spam in 10th, although I wouldn't call it Serpent Spam. I would call it mech. I used Serpents and I used Falcons, so I used a mixture of both. But yeah, Serpent Spam or like, you know, mounted spam, mechanized Eldar does work in 10th edition. It is effective. It's not the most effective, but I think it's still pretty good. And if you wanted to like strike a balance between being or having a competitive style army, but not ultra uber competitive, I would go with something like a mechanized aspect warrior list. It's really fun. It's really good if you know what you're doing. I have a video on it up on my channel. It's one of my favorite lists to run in 10th edition, actually. And it basically just has a bunch of aspect warriors in Falcons and in Wave Serpents. And it just has some supporting elements. It's kind of a laid back kind of list. It's not too like try hard, but it's also not going to suck, you know. It's not like I'm memeing or anything. It's not a meme list, you know. A lot of people think just because you're not playing competitive, it's a meme. You know what I mean? But it's not a meme or anything. It's really good, but it's just not like top tier. And the reason for that is because Wave Serpents are not the most durable tanks, but if you know how to use them correctly, they can be very good. They're not quite as good as they were in the beginning of the edition, but they're still pretty solid. And the cool thing about the mechanized style of list is you can go, you can still do all the like kind of competitive stuff too. You know, you can go Fire Prisms, you can go Night Spinners, Hornets, Warwalkers. You can still do that stuff if you wanted to, but just have the Wave Serpents like as your front line, you know, as your control pieces to control the center. Yeah, dude, the Falcons with the Dragons are super good, dude. Yeah, not, you know, like... People were dogging on the dragons in the beginning of the edition. They're saying, Proxy Hammer dragons suck, man. Like, they're not A tier like you say they are. They're not good. You know, I'd rather have a Warwalker. Well, I mean, yeah, they're still pretty good. Like, competitive players are using them now because the Wraith Knights are not, you know, in vogue anymore. Yeah, Greenskin, I totally feel you, man. If painting's your thing, dude, go for it, you know? I think there's so many cool different ways you can enjoy this hobby, and if painting's one of them, go for it, you know? And there's cool stuff you can do with painting. Like, I've always been open to, you know what I thought was always cool? I don't know if your local game shops have ever done something like this, but painting tournaments. Yeah, Sackaway, they have so much potential for 85 points. Like painting tournaments, but not like the painting tournaments you guys think. Like, I'm not talking about like best golden demon painted or whatever. I'm talking about just like your local hobby guys in the hobby shop all day. You get about, you know, 12 hours from 12 o'clock in the afternoon to 12 o'clock at night to paint up a combat patrol, to build and paint a combat patrol, and whoever is like, who finishes and, you know, gets it all done and everything is like the winner. You know what I mean? Yeah, nice, Anthony. Nice. That would be cool. I would really be stoked to see something like that. Like if you guys like have a local hobby store, like I highly recommend organizing something like that, because it's a fun way for the community to interact in a non-super competitive way, and it just be fun, you know. And then you guys could play like a little tournament with the kill team. Yeah, Thomas. You're never going to be able to hold the objectives in the midboard. Except if you're running something like the Avatar of Cain or a 10 guard Wraith Brick, you're just never going to be able to hold the mid objectives. Don't even try. The best thing to do is to kind of bait your opponent into the middle, kill your opponent, and then control the sides of the board. Yeah, Toys, you're absolutely right. Everybody had a mechanized list, and if you were an army back then with an old codex that couldn't run mechanized, you just were not competitive. The Eldar were barely, and I know some people might disagree with me, but as somebody who played hardcore competitive in 5th edition, I can tell you Eldar were barely competitive near the end of 5th edition, because so many armies just became so mechanized, and the terrain rules back then were dog shit, dude. They were dog shit. You could not hide anywhere. You're welcome, Thomas. Yeah, Eldar just can't hold the middle without Wraithguard or without some other like really like strong unit like that. And that's fine, you know, that's totally fine that they can't do that. I mean, factions are not supposed to be able to do everything, but you just have to adapt around it, you know? Like, yeah, I can't hold the center, but I can prevent you from taking the center. And by preventing you from taking the center, I'm essentially doing the same thing. I'm playing to my army's strengths, but I'm also like preventing you from being able to actually do what you want to do and what you're good at. Yeah, but it was funny when I went off to college, I quickly realized that, you know, playing just one thing over and over again, the most competitive, ultra competitive things, wasn't exactly the way I wanted to like enjoy the hobby. So I started branching out and just trying a bunch of different stuff, and that's why I kind of just try a bunch of different stuff now and just analyze all sorts of different strategies, you know? And that way you learn the army better too. You learn the whole faction. You don't just learn like one particular play style, you learn all the play styles. It also helps you out against other armies too. Now, here's the real question. Did I finally get everything on this guy? I think so. I think I did. I'll be right back. Had to grab myself a sparkling ice. You guys like these things? God, I can't get enough of them. Anyway. Love me some sparkling ice. I can't really drink soda anymore just because it just makes me feel bad. But sparkling ice doesn't make me feel bad, so gotta drink that carbonation, you know? Alright, so I think I've gotten everything on this guy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Sackway, I mean, you know, I used to play with a gaming group. It was the same thing, man. It was the same thing. All of their armies were really good at brawling in the center and stuff. And, like, Eldar just don't play that game, and I always got a bunch of flack for it. That's the price you pay for playing a fast faction, you know? Yeah, I think I got him. Did I missed that? Nah. No, I don't care. Oh, wait, I missed a spot. There we go. I always miss a spot, I swear to God. There we go. All right, his cloak's done. So all the cloaks are now done. Great. Now I can just chill with you guys a bit and just like chill out and talk a little bit. Did you guys hear Army Painter's getting a new line out, a new line of paints? And what do you guys think about them? Well, what a lot of players don't realize is, yeah, Eldar probably aren't great to print. A lot of details, you know? Really hard models to find STLs for and stuff, I'm sure. The one thing I really need to get is a 3D printer. Like, that's my next goal, is to get a 3D printer and, like, start printing a bunch of Eldar stuff. But, I mean, I don't know anything about 3D printing, so, like, I'm a little late to the party in that, but, yeah. Like, it'd be cool to get a 3D printer so I can, you know, kind of stop having to use so much cardboard to proxy all my models. Thinking about groceries? I'm always thinking of that. I'm also thinking of like cheap ways to store my models. Like, I'm always looking at like different like boxes and stuff that like come in through Amazon or whatever. And I'm like, could I use this to store more models? Like, could I use this box with these like packaging stuff to like store some like Falcons or something like that? I wonder how much the kill team is going to be. I'm hoping the kill team isn't more than like $150. Like, I think like 130 bucks would be probably what I'm expecting. But I fear that it's going to be more than that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, we know that the kit has 10 scorpions and 10 scouts in it. No, it's not a contrast set. It's their mainline set for the for it for the army painter. It's like their main colors, main paints, like their battle paints. How many of you guys, by the way, are using scorpions in your list? Like, is anyone using striking scorpions, like, seriously in their lists? Yeah, I'm not a fan of speed paints. I know they're good and everything for painting up stuff fast, but, like, I've done that kind of thing before with washes, and I was just never a big fan of it. Back in the day, there used to be a thing with washes that you could do if you, like, you know, like layered the washes on top of each other, and you got a very similar thing to what speed paint does, and I was just never a fan of how it turned out, with the dry brushing and everything. Well, believe it or not, you can actually make a pretty good Corsair list this edition. I mean, they kind of have all the tools to be pretty good. I mean, not like ultra competitive, but like, good at your local game store against friends. They can definitely like rip some stuff up. Yeah, I need to kind of try speed paints. But I don't know. I might do it in the future with a couple of units and see how it turns out. See if I can get if I can get a similar look to what I have now, like I think I'll probably go for it, but like if I can't, I'll probably just have to continue, painting the way I do. Some of the Forge World Corsair stuff, especially the Legends models, are absolutely insane. They're absolutely insane. You know what? It's funny. I did a review on those like models a while back, and man, like some of those units I tried in a couple of casual games, and it was just absolutely insane. Like those jet bikes, those Corsair jet bikes are fucking insane. Excuse my language, but damn. Yeah, they're so good. Yeah, you can make a really good, like, if you're a dedicated player who has the extra money to buy the Forge World stuff, like, you can make a pretty good Corsair list with that stuff. Yeah, it's a new formula, Anthony. I don't know if it's any good. I know reviewers, like, are, gaga over it, but then again, they're gaga over everything that's new, so who knows? Who knows if it's actually good for the casual painter? Yeah, dude, Corsairs are so cool. I just wish we had access to more Corsair units in the actual codex. Like, I'm not against using Legends units. Like, Legends units are really cool to use and everything, but I don't know. Sometimes from some players, you can get kind of a reaction using a Legends unit, and I just would rather, like, not have that reaction, you know? Even though most Legends units are very tame, you'll always get that pickup game against somebody where you're like, oh, this is a Legends unit, and they're like upset that you're playing with a Legends unit against them, you know? So you have to be careful about that. Yeah, we do need more of those, man. Like, those Corsair jet bikes would be such a cool unit to have in the regular Craftworld army. Like,